my name is Rebekah Giles. I am 39 years old. In 1996, I came to UTS Law School and I undertook a Bachelor of Laws. I grew up in the western suburbs of Sydney in a very sheltered environment, and when I came to UTS Law, it was a huge eye-opener for me. I was the first person in my family to go to university, and when I arrived at UTS Law, I was just amazed by the diverse group of students, the open learning, just the entire environment was a huge shock to my system. It was incredible. It was incredibly exciting. I had the most wonderful time at UTS. I was quite an involved student. I was part of the Law Student Society. I was also the editor of the university newspaper. I was involved in student politics. Pretty much anyone who would take me, I sort of got involved with them. It was a really exciting place and an opportunity for me to work out who I was and what interested me, and I gravitated towards people that I had never met before in my life, and it was incredibly exciting. The amazing thing about UTS Law is they were really encouraging of us pursuing work while we're at university. So I worked as a paralegal at a litigation law firm when I was at UTS Law, and in the last year of my degree I went to the night classes. So I continued on in my legal practice, and I worked for a number of Sydney-based law firms in the first 5 years of practice, and then I moved overseas to London, where I was in-house counsel at Lloyd's of London, the insurance market. That was hugely exciting, and then I returned to Sydney to a role at Minter Ellison in their litigation division, where I worked for about 5 or so years before I moved over to Kennedy's, where I'm a partner now. I've been at Kennedy's for 10 years now. Actually, one thing that was a huge emphasis at UTS Law was the emphasis on social justice. And even though we were taught how to be amazing lawyers, we were also taught that we had this very real responsibility to give back as lawyers. So in my last 5 to 6 years of practice, I have made a concerted effort to set aside time to use my skills for good and not always evil. I am the chair of the Board of Governors of the Centennial Parklands Foundation, which funds some incredible work in the parklands of Sydney. I am also a director of the Greater Western Sydney Giants, which is a AFL club, which, aside from being an elite sports team, does amazing work in our community, and I'm very proud of my contribution to both of those organisations. The reason I really love UTS Law and recommend it to other people, and love employing grads from UTS Law as well, is because what they gave me was a very practical degree. And even when I was 18 or 19 years old wanting to study law and be a lawyer, that was an aspiration that I didn't really understand what that meant. And when I studied at UTS Law, I was given actual skills that I use every day, even today. Even my other classes, I had practicing lawyers and real experts teach me how to be a lawyer. And as much as I enjoy the mental gymnastics of jurisprudence and subjects like that, to be honest with you, the skills that remain with me and the teachings that remain with me were those really practically based courses. So aside from teaching me how to be a lawyer, it was also just a wonderful environment.